baby, yeah. Oh yeah. All the bad things disappear. You're making me feel like maybe I am somebody. I can deal with the bad nights when I'm with my baby, yeah. Ooh, yeah. 'Cause I don't care as long as you just hold me near. You can take me anywhere. You're making me feel like I'm loved by somebody. I can deal with the bad nights when I'm with my baby, yeah.
Switch up your flow wherever life takes you without missing a beat. Just download and go with Spotify Premium. Get 3 free months of premium before it ends and cancel anytime. Tap the banner to learn more.
Not tryna be in there, not tryna be cool, just tryna be in this. Tell me how you do. Can you feel where the wind is? Can you feel it through all of the windows inside this room? 'Cause I wanna touch you, baby, and I wanna feel you too. I wanna see the sunrise and your sins just me and you. Light it up, oh, let's make love tonight. Make it up. We were shot like a jacket, so do yours too. We would roll down the rapids to find a wave that fits. Can you feel where the wind is? Can you feel it through all of the windows inside this room? 'Cause I wanna touch you, baby. I wanna feel you too. I wanna see the sunrise and your sins, just me and you. Light it up, on, let's make love tonight. Make it up for love. Try. But you'll never be alone. I've been with you from dusk till dawn. I've been with you from dusk till dawn. I'm hold you when things go wrong. I've been with you from dusk till dawn. I've been with you from dusk till dawn. Baby, I'm alright. Go give love to your body. It's only you that can stop it. Go give love to your body. It's only you that can stop it. Go give love to your body. It's only you that can stop it. Go give love to your body. Go give love to your body. But you'll never be alone. I'll be with you from dusk till dawn. I'll be with you from dusk till dawn. I'm hold you when things go wrong. I'll be with you from dusk till dawn. I'll be with you from dusk till dawn. Baby, I'm What if I told you that I love you? Would you tell me that you love me back? What if I told you that I miss you? Would you tell me that you miss me back? What if I told you that I need you? Would you tell me that you need me? Yeah. If I tell you all my feelings, would you believe me? Yeah. What if I told you that I love you? Yeah. What if I told you that I love you? Yeah. What if I told you that I need you? Would you tell me that you need me too? But if I told you that I love you, hey, when you told me that you love me, was I a fool to believe in you? When you told me I was special, was I dumb for trusting you? When you told me that you want me, did you really want me? Or was this all a joke to you? I don't wanna say I miss you if I don't know that you miss me back. I don't wanna say the wrong thing. If I do, there's no coming back. What if I told you that I need you? Would you tell me that you need me? Yeah. If I tell you all my feelings, would you believe me? Yeah. What if I told you that I love you? Yeah. What if I told you that I love you? I wish I told you that I loved you. Now it's too late, you have someone new. I hope he loves you like I do. Do you love the way he's treating you? What if I told you that I love you? Would you tell me that you love me back? If I told you that I miss you, would you tell me that you miss me back? What if I told you that I need you? Would you tell me that you need me? Yeah. If I tell you all my feelings, would you believe me? Yeah. What if I told you that I love you? Yeah. What if I told you that I love you? Yeah. What if I told you that I need you? Would you tell me that you need me too? What if I told you that I love you? What if I told you that I...
Everybody knows my name now, but something about it still feels strange. Like looking in a mirror, trying to steady yourself and seeing somebody else. And everything is not the same now. It feels like all our lives have changed. Maybe when I'm older it'll all calm down, but it's killing me now. What if you had it all, but nobody to call? Maybe then you'd know me. 'Cause I've had everything, but no one's listening. And that's just fucking lonely. I'm so lonely. Lonely. Everybody knows.
Hello, everyone. Can someone confirm if they can hear me and also see my screen? In the chat box, please. Thank you. All right, thank you, Delvis. Thank you very much. All right. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Depends on where you are joining us from. You are all welcome to today's Analytics Extra Mentorship Program designed by Mr. Adewale Yusuf and the team. Please, may I know how your experience has been so far? You can drop that in the chat box too. Thank you. Wow, someone said educating. Tofikat says educating. All right. Wow, someone said insightful. Great, great, great. Enhancing. Thank you very much for. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Someone said mind blowing. Wow, that's good. All right. Our today's topic is data transformation and modeling by Oloruntoba Fashakin, a data and business intelligence analyst. But before we move on, I would like us to start by our ground rules, which are punctuality. It's good to always be punctual. You should be here before your speaker, which is very important, and have an open mind, one class, participate where you can. We should respect each other's opinion, ask questions, and your mic is always muted. So whenever you want to speak, these leads us to the last ground rule, which is you should raise your hand. All right. My name is Musa Yusuf Bola. I'm a data and ICT assistant to the MD and CEO of Association of Power Generation Companies here in Abuja. I'm a Microsoft certified data analyst associate. I have over a year experience in the data analytics field. I'm also a Power Platform developer and also a moderator as well. All right. Our speaker for today is no other person but Mr. Olurutoba Fashakin, an analytics consultant and trainer, 4 times Microsoft certified trainer. That's MCT, Microsoft Certified Power Platform App Maker, Microsoft Certified Power Platform Functional Consultant, over 5 years business intelligence experience, a corporate trainer with deep understanding of various adult learning methodologies, training methodologies, and instructional design. He trained over 3,000 participants, including senior management on data analytics, business intelligence, big data, artificial intelligence, and a lot more. He built robust analytic system solutions for clients across various industries, ranging from aviation, telecommunication, financial institution. Our fun fact about our speaker is he loves to smile. All right, I think our speaker deserves a virtual round of applause. Guys, please, our speaker deserves a virtual round of applause for you guys. Thank you. And again, if you have any questions, you can drop in the chat box. I will be in the background, and the team are going to do their best by attending to you. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Toba Fashakin as he takes over the stage. Thank you.
Okay, super. Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me, Musa. Or can others hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir. I can hear you loud and clear.
Super, super, super. Musa, I need to find out, how do you know that my is to smile? My
I know
fun fact is to smile. You know.
I've been to Lagos last year.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, I was in Lagos last year.
And then for my DP too, I'm smiling for my DP.
Yeah, and your DP too as well. Yeah.
Nice. So good afternoon, or
All
good
right.
evening, good morning, good day, everyone from wherever you may be joining from. And I want to believe it has been a wonderful session thus far. If we've been introduced to Power BI, statistics to some extent, and some level of Excel also. So yes, it's been wonderful so far. I want to believe, and from the charts I've seen, it looks like it has been wonderful. And I believe it today it has really been wonderful. So not to waste too much of our time, I will need to just jump in quick into what we want to do today. Let me share my screen. Share my screen. And Once I share, please, you would need to confirm if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Can you see the screen?
Yes, it's coming up, sir. It's coming up. It's coming up.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
When it is up, let me know.
All right.
It's up, sir. It's up, sir. I can see your screen, sir.
All right, it's up now. It's up, yes.
Okay, super. I'm seeing something in the chat. So why is Iri not taking us through Power BI? Okay, maybe. Oh, okay. Give me the. I want to believe. All right. I'm sorry. Sorry that we had to break your hearts. It is all of top, but Isaiah, not Iri. I don't know what you have been having for Iri, but it's not possible anymore. It's top, but Isaiah, so you need to also adjust. All right, so, so you're welcome to this session. We'll be looking at data transformation and modeling in Power BI. And I know some of us probably who have been working with Power BI before would know what this speaks to or what this is about. But at the same time, I want to just take us from the very scratch and then see how far we can go today. It's just for 1 hour, so we need to be pretty much fast. And the good thing is, I don't think we can share files. I've looked at the chat. There's no possibility of us sharing files, so I would just do and maybe afterwards the session, I can share the file with Musa, and then Musa can get across to everyone who is in this session on how to use the file. And I think the recording will be made available after now, so you can also go through the recording to actually get things done. This is what we'll be doing today. So I'll just be running at my pace. Of course, if you can catch up, good for you. If you can't, maybe the recording would serve a whole lot of purpose. So you can go back, go forward, go back, go forward. You can watch 10, 20 times, as many times as you want. So that's how this session would be. Apologies in advance if I'm too fast, but it has to be like this for the sake of this session. All right, so let's go to what we want to do today. Let me see. The ground rules remains the same. Punctuality, I should not talk about that because, well, I should talk about some of us actually late. I came in before some of us. Some people are still not in the session yet. So punctuality is very key. Having open mind, one class, participation, respect, questions. So all these things are very important. We should adhere by them. Right. I should not go over this again. Musa has done this for me. Thank you so much, Musa. And so the agenda today, looking at data transformation, what it means. So looking at rules of data management. So looking at something called Power Query. If you have used Power Query before, you can drop it in the chat. We're looking at something called data modeling. We're looking at facts and dimension tables and how to create them. So we look at how to transform data. We look at what data transformation is, how to actually transform data. Something we'll look at. We'll look at the rules of data management. I would explain what it's to, and then we'll look at facts, dimension tables, and data modeling, and how to build those in Power BI. So, okay, I can see a lot of yes. So that means we are all good users of Power BI. I saw the saying, it doesn't know shishi. That is why you're good. That's quite good too. Don't worry, if you don't know anything, it's still fine. You'll be taking, it's more like a hands-on session. No, you'll be taking from the very scratch of it, from the very unknown that you probably may be to the known. So let's go on. Probably towards the end, there'll be Q&A. So please, at any point, maybe I did something, it's not so clear that you not wait for the recording to actually get this clear. You want to quickly sort it out, call my attention back to it. Feel free to actually call my attention back to it towards the end of the session. I think that will be the time for Q&A. So let's move on. So what is data transformation? I'm supposed to actually just animate this, but it's fine. Data transformation and data analysis involves refining, cleaning, and structuring your raw data. Remember the analysis life cycle that we had in the previous session where we looked at data analysis life cycle, how data moves from being data to now the beautiful dashboard, and where insights can be gotten to making decisions, brainstorming and then making decisions. That's the end product of every data analysis. Data analysis is not just about putting visuals up. No, that's not the end goal. The end goal is that people can brainstorm and make business decisions. They can take data-driven decisions. So that's the end goal of every analysis done. It's not to put up a beautiful dashboard. It's not to put up a beautiful, do your designs and all that. It's to the end that I communicate so that people can take data-driven decisions. So data transformation is more like the first step. That's more like data ingestion. You get the data, extract the data. That's where you refine and you clean the data. You need to clean it. Data most times does not come in the right format or in the right let me know its format. The right way is supposed to be for analysis. You need to still refine and clean that data, and then you need to structure. So structure your data for beta analysis. Includes tasks like data extraction, like I said, cleaning, merging. At times you need to merge data together. That means data from different tables, you need to merge them together. Filtering, there are times you need to filter some things from your data, creating columns, and many other things. So this is all you can do with data transformation. And the transform data feature in Power BI allows us to users to initiate prepare data for insightful visualization, reports, and complex DAX calculations. So this transform data feature in Power BI is what we call Power Query. In Power BI, for you to transform data, the tool used is called Power Query. And Power Query simply is an ETL tool. Well, some people call it, it's not, some people say it's not ETL because it's not the advanced, the core ETL tools that people use, but to some extent, it's still an ETL tool in the sense that it can help you extract your data, transform your data, and then load your data to Power BI. So you are extracting. Remember that the first thing you need to do is to get your data. Without data, there's no analysis. So you need to extract your data. Power Query will help you go to your data source. Maybe your data source is in Oracle, your data is in Excel, your data could be in SharePoint, could be in diverse, it could be in different data sources. It could be in SQL, it could be in anywhere. So Power BI, using Power Query, go to your database to get that data out. So you are connected to that data, extract the data from that place, bring it to your Power Query, and then you need to now transform that data. That's where you do your refining and cleaning. You clean that data to be sure that this data is good for reporting. After cleaning, that's the transformation. Then you now load to Power BI. That's ETL that way. ETL has been done. Extraction, getting the data, transformation, cleaning the data, and then when you're done cleaning, you now load the data to Power BI for analysis, for DAX calculation, and every other thing. So that's Power Query, and that's data transformation in Power BI. We use Power Query for data transformation in Power BI. Many of us who are not so sure what is Power Query, we'll still look at what Power Query is as we go on. Now, there are times when you want to ask, is it every data that we clean? Is it every data that I need to clean? Well, there are times when you don't need to clean data. For some of us who have been doing analysis, most of us probably would have been working with clean data that's been cleaned, that's been transformed and all that. So I don't do any transformation. Just load my Power BI, my data, and then I go to Power BI and then start doing visualization. There are times data should not be clean, but there are times data should be clean. And how do you know this data is to be cleaned or not? There are certain rules data should follow before you can say this data is clean. If the data breaks any of those rules, then you can say, oh, this data is not clean. Let's look at the rules. First is there should be no empty column or row in your data. If you look at your data here, you are seeing empty row, you are seeing empty column. Know that data needs to be cleaned. If you see empty row, empty column, know that it has to be cleaned. Remember that I didn't say empty cell. I know we have done the exam. We know the difference between a cell, difference between a cell and a row and a column. If you have different cells, empty cells, if you have empty cells, it still may be fine. But if you have empty row or empty column, know that you need to clean it. There are times when data can be blank or some cells can be blank. It's still fine. But the rule says empty row or empty column. If it's empty cell, it's still fine. In some cases. So, but every time you see empty row, every time you see empty column, know that data needs to be cleaned. If it's empty cell, you probably may find out why is this cell empty. If there's no need for the empty cell, then you probably you can. But if there's something that's supposed to be there, but so it can be filled. But empty row and empty column must not be your data. Empty row and empty column must not be your data. Next one is all dates in your data must be in a single column. Anytime you see your data and then the date are not in a single column, know that you need to clean that data and put everything back in a single column. Put everything back in a single column. The next thing is that there must be no total or subtotal in your data. There must be no total or subtotal in your data. That means summation. Nobody should sum in your data. You should not have any total or subtotal anywhere in your data. Anywhere you see total or subtotal, know that that needs to be cleaned, needs to be taken out. You need to take out total or subtotal anywhere in your data. It must not be. You must not allow it to be in your data. Because when you go to your reporting, your reports will still do your total and subtotal for you. So your data should not have it. Your reports can have your total, can have your subtotal. That's fine. But your data itself should not have it. Remember that data is what will give birth to reports. So if you have total or subtotal in your data, when you are doing your reports, it will still be an accumulation of figures. So it will be like it will now times 2 what's supposed to be. So when you see total or subtotal, take it out so that figures are not inflated and your reports can be accurate. Next thing is all unique column. Every column must have its own data or data type. Every column must have its own unique data type. Every column must have its own unique data type. That means that a column for maybe market, I should not see revenue inside that same column. One column, the same column is for market, is for, or maybe it's for store again. No. If this column is for market, let's be market all across. And the data type should be, of course, text. Not that it is text and it is revenue. I'm seeing revenue, bottom, market, top. That's entirely wrong. So every column must have its own unique data type. Pardon the error. Yes, not all unique. It's all columns, or every column must have its own unique data type. So it has to be one kind of data that is in that column. If it is market, let it be market across, not market, store, all in the same column. It should be country and city in the same column. No. Country should have its own column, city should have its own column. Anytime you see data muzzled together like that, know that you need to find a way to shake that column and then have 2 columns instead of that one column that has country and city. Next thing is that every column must have one header. Every column must have one header. Don't have 2 column headers for a row. For a column, I mean, a column should not carry 2 headers, or a column should not carry no header. That means every column must have an header. If a column is empty without header, it's wrong. You must find what is the heading of this column. Or if you are seeing 2 headers in the column, you need to be able to say what exactly is the heading of this column. Next one is no obstruction around the data. This is probably the last one. So these are like 6 rules. So no obstruction around your data. There should be no obstruction anywhere in your data. If it is not part of your data, take it out. That is one of the rules of data management. These are the checks you need to do to be sure that your data is clean or not. To be sure that your data is clean or not. And we'll look at it as we go on. So these are these rules of data management. You should always check for these rules before you can say, oh, is my data clean or is it dirty? If it's clean, you need to go and, of course, transform it in Power Query. If it's dirty, transform it in Power Query. If it is clean, then you just load it to your Power BI and then you go on reporting. But if it is dirty, if you have broken any of this rule, it shows that it is dirty and needs to be transformed or cleaned. So that is that. So let's quickly look at how to do data transformation in Power BI. So I'll just come up with my Power Query. I think I need to share my screen again. Sorry, I'm using a screen, so I would need to be able to multitask. Okay, no, let me just share my task at this point. So let me share my entire screen. Sorry. Okay, so this is the data I want to use. It's a gaming data kind of. And then we have this column for image. This is the image of the games. So it's a game kind of data. I think I got it from Maven Analytics or so. So we have the title here and the types of games, the consoles to be used for those games, the genre of the games. Is it action? Is it shooting? Is it adventure? Is it sports? and then the publisher of the game, the developer of the game, and then the score of the game, the ratings they gave to the game, the total sales they made. This is I think this is not American sales. NM sales means not American sales. JP sales means Japan sales. PAL, I think this is sales from Africa, and I will probably look at the data dictionary and be able to. But this sales from Africa, let's say this sales from Africa, and then these are other sales, and then we have the release dates, and then the update date. Let me delete this. This was one calculation I was trying to do. So last update, that means the last time the game was updated and then the date it was released. So looking at this data, what do you think about this data? Is it clean or dirty? You can drop it in the chat. Is it clean or dirty? If it is clean, fine. If it is dirty, why do you say it is dirty? If it is clean, fine. If it is dirty, why do you say it's dirty? Quickly, let's drop it in the chat. Look at this data. Is it clean or dirty? If it is clean, why? If it is dirty, why? Let me look at the chart so that I can clean. Dirty, some cells are missing. Clean. Okay, dirty, we have empty row. It's clean, no empty row, no empty column. They're still missing values. Okay. For those who said it's dirty because of empty cells or missing values, you are wrong. I remember our rules. I didn't say empty cells. I said empty columns or row. There are times when, like this data now is empty. Yes, it is fine because there has been no updates. This game has not been updated, so it can be blank. So you need to, context matters at times. So this is not an error. It is not dead because there's an update. There's been no update, so it has to be blank. I can't put in data for where there's supposed to be no data. So this one is not an error. So this empty cells, missing values here is not an error. It's not one of the rules of checking for data cleaned or dirty data. So it's not an error. But for those who say the data is clean, you are wrong too, because the data is not clean. So what is making this data not clean? If you look at it, you can see something here called total sales. Remember I said that there should be no total or subtotal in your data. This total sales is a column on its own. And then it's looking at this entire sales here to actually arrive at this. Well, some people are still, but ideally I would say take out this total sales. Total or subtotal should not be in your data. Should not be in your data, anywhere in your data. So this total sales is something that is making it not clean. So I hope that's clear. Let's confirm if it is clear. Let's confirm. Is it clear? All right, good. So now let's go to Power BI. Let me connect to my data. So this is Power BI. We are used to Power BI. So if you want to transform data, you just come to transform data here. Click on this. I want to go to Power Query, so I'll click on transform data, and then Power Query opens up. So you can see on title Power Query editor. So this is the editor for Power Query. And I can now say, first thing I should do is to what? Get my data. So I'll come here and say, I want to get my data. My data here, because my data is in Excel, so I'm going to go to Excel workbook. Remember that I said your data could be in any place. Power Query will be able to go into that place and get your data. You can see SQL Server, analysis services. If your data is in a text, a document, CSV file, it will go. If it's in a website, it will go. All data field, blank query. You can even click on more. You will see many other data sources where data can be that Power Query is able to connect to. So you can see a whole lot. A PDF, a folder. So there, it's a whole lot. So I can keep scrolling down. So anywhere your data is, Power Query would get to it and be able to connect to it. For this, my data is in Excel, so I'll just click on Excel workbook. And then I do connect. And then I come to this. So this is my data. It's called VG charts. So I'll just click on this. So it's establishing connection. So it's trying to connect to that data I have told it to extract. So this is me extracting my data. Remember the first impact with the extraction. I'm extracting my data now with Power Query. Is extracting. Good, my data is here. So my data is here. So I can, let's go. It was going to bring on the table. I guess this, I didn't connect to know I created the table for, but it's fine. So I can just do okay. So I've seen my data and then I'm doing okay. So actually bring it to Power Query here. There are times you see your data, it will show you load, transform data, or cancel. So load means that you want to load your data to Power BI script. You don't want to bring it to Power Query. That means when you click on load, that means your data is clean. You're sure your data is clean. You don't want to, so just load it to Power BI. Do transformation. I don't want to come to this query, do transformation. So that's what load is. So that if you are on your own and you're saying load, don't fret. If you're showing transform data, that means you will still want to clean that data. Your data is not clean. You want to transform data. You want to clean the data. So that's what transform data is. Cancel means it was an error. So cancel what you've done so far. All right. But ideally, I tell people always click on transform data. Even if you are sure your data is clean, click on transform data. It is very important to do transform data. Okay, so this is my Power Query interface. And then you can see home, you can see transform, and transform would have different commands, different groups. Add column, you want to add column, you can add column like this. You want to click on your view. So this column valid 100% error empty, blah, 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 that I say is called column quality, I mean. So if you want to check it so that you can see the analysis of your columns, is it 100% empty? What percentage is empty? What percentage is error field? What percentage is valid? So if you check here, column profile is based on 1,000, top 1,000. If you want to make it the entire data set, you can click here and then make it the entire data set. Or if you want it to be top 1,000 rows in this data, so that is fine. So I'm seeing my image here, my title, my console. So this is my data. And Power Query does something. Once you connect your data, it will do these two steps for you, this promoted headers and change type. By default, it does it for you. But ideally, what people do is, first thing is to always remove these things first. At least if you're a newbie, remove these two first. But there are times when, if you've been using Power Query to some extent, you understood what it is it has done, you can leave it. So people say remove these two. So if I remove these two now, if I remove these two, my data will be back to, so you can see the promoted headers has gone. So I can now do it myself. But if it has done it for you, you don't need to. If you look at it and data is still fine after it has done it for you. So it will take my headers up. So I clicked on use first row as headers. So that means the first row make it headers. So it will make my first row as my column headers, which is how it's supposed to be. So this is it again. Now this is my data. I want to remember the only thing we said we should clean is to remove the total sales column. So remove the total sales column. We don't need that total sales. So I'll just click on this column and then I can right click and then you see remove column. Remove. So you remove or remove other columns. Remove other columns means that remove every other column apart from this total sales. Remove means that remove this total sales column that way. So I'll do this and then I say remove. I only need to remove this. And look at every step I take, you see it under this applied steps. Remember, the first step is the source. That's when I went to my source, to where my file is. Next thing was to navigate to the data I need. And then I promoted headers, and then I now removed columns. So every step of the way is shown here. So this is, you can trace back step. I can go to this place and delete step, but be careful of deleting. If you're not sure what you are deleting, don't delete. It will scatter your entire query because everything is layer by layer, layer upon layer. So if you upset any layer in between, it can scatter the entire layers below it. Okay, so now we are good. But another thing I need to do is, these are data type. We are seeing ABC here, ABC, but this is showing ABC 1, 2, 3. So that means it's confused. Is this data a text field or a numerical field? That means this data type, the column, is it, because it's seeing numbers, it's seeing text. You can see 360 PS4, so it's seeing numbers, it's seeing text. So it's not sure, is it a numerical field or a text-based field? So I'll just change it and tell you that it is supposed to be a text. Don't show ABC 1, 2, 3. ABC 1, 2, 3 means that Power Query is confused. When you say ABC 1, 2, 3, it shows that Power Query is confused. It's not sure of what the data type is. So I'll change it to text. Data type is very, very important in analysis. Always fix your data type. Reason is that data type tells Power BI that this is the kind of data in that column. If it's, look at, you can see this one, it is 1.2. So these are decimal. So that means these are number. These are number. Treat this column as a numerical column. And then the others are numerical, text-based data. So understand that part. Numerical column is something that can be summed up and makes logical sense. My phone number, though it looks like a number, is not a numerical field. It's a text-based column. Are we together? Your number, your phone number, your account number, they look like number, but if I sum them together, it doesn't make logical sense. If I add my account number together, it doesn't make any sense. If I add my account number with Musa's account number, it still makes no sense. So you need to understand that when I look at the column, if summing it up does not make any logical sense, that shows that it's a text field. But if I look at it and then if I sum it up, it makes logical sense, that shows that it's a numerical field. Like our sales now, this sales in PAL in Africa, I can actually add all the sales together to get our total sales. So that it makes logical sense. But I can't add our developer together. I add their names together, and then it gives me nonsense. So it doesn't make any sense. So that's how you know a numerical field and a text or category field in your data. So this is very key for those who probably, for everybody who will be a data analyst. So we've done the first step, which is to clean this data. This data is clean now. We've transformed this data and it looks clean. Yeah, I think for me, so some people will say, oh, let's put all these values together in the column. I probably don't need it. I want to see them one by one this way. So this looks fine. I can go on with my reporting this way. But this is where the issue is. Many people would go on like this, but there's something called a data model, which is the next thing we are going to. Data modeling. Data modeling is something that most analysts do not know. So if you are on this call, you are privileged to know this. So please pay rapt attention. This is something most analysts have. I've worked on many reports. The person is an analyst too. And look at this issue, this problem you have is from your data model. And then you need to pay me before I can solve anything for them. So if you can master data model, there are many people out there who have data modeling issues. You see, data model and DAX. Those are two key things that many analysts have issues with. They have problems with. So if you can master those two, 80% of your job as an analyst is sorted. Visualization, almost everybody analyst can do visualization, but you see data modeling, it will be very hard before you see a data analyst that can do a proper data model. Data modeling and DAX, those two, people tend to run away from them. So please pay rapt attention. It is very, very crucial. This thing would eventually fetch you money on the long run because there are many people that are going to come back to you when they have issues with their reports. Now, what is data modeling? Let me go back to my slide. So data modeling, what is data modeling? Data modeling is the process of analyzing and defining all the data, different data types your business collects and produces. So basically what this means is that data modeling is where you define all the data, different data that is coming, data that you're coming. Oh, this is customer data, this is purchase data, this is staff data, this is sales data. So you are defining the different data types of business collects or is producing. And after you define, you've defined customer data. This is customer data. This is purchase data. This is sales data. This is staff data. This is whatever demographic data or whatever it is you've defined. You need to now connect those tables together. So that's creating relationship. So data modeling is first you are defining tables, or you are analyzing and defining tables. Which one should be? These are customer data, these are sales data, so you have defined those data. Now, after you define those data, you need to now connect them by building relationship. So you need to build a relationship amongst those data so that they can interact, so that they can speak one to another. So sales data can speak to customer data can speak to purchase data, sales data can speak to staff data, so I can do visualization accurately. So that is what a data model is. So you are creating relationship. Let me show you an example. Okay. I'll show you an example soon. So the next thing is what we want to call star schema. So there are different types of data model. There are like 5 or 4. It depends on different. Some people say it's 5, some people say it's 4. So there are different types of data model, but the most common data model is star schema. And star schema is a mature modeling approach widely adopted by relational data warehouse. It requires models to classify that model tables into a dimension of facts. So star schema is the most common type of data model. 90% of the time, you'll be creating a star schema data model. You'll be creating a star schema data model. And for you to know a star schema, there will be a dimension, and there will be dimension tables and then facts. So you are dividing your data set into dimension and facts table. Essentially, every data model has dimension and fact, but a star schema is where it is properly defined. So something like this. So you can see this why it's called a star. So we have the facts table in the middle, and then we have different dimensions scattered around it like this. So this is why it's called a star. And this is another example of a data model where you can see this a table, and then you can see that there's a relationship between all this. These are different data or tables, and then there's a relationship between them. So how do you do this so as to be able to connect them together or have them speak one to another? So this is a typical star schema data model. This one on my left is a typical star schema data model, and then this one is just to show you what a star schema means. Now let's look at what is called a fact and a dimension table. Dimension tables are those tables that describe business entities. So and then they can include your products, your people, your places, and time itself. So let me just bring it down to a layman language or a layman term. Please, I want us to still be together. Please, I don't want to lose you. So if you are not confused, if you are confused about anything, just pen it down. Towards the end, we'll have Q&A. Business entities is what makes your dimension tables. These are more like your text-based field. Most times, I personally say that they are my W's, your who, your where, your what, your when. So your who is your customer. Who are my customers? When you have data related to customers, no, it's a dimension kind of data. That's your who. It's speaking to who. So your staff, those are dimension tables. So it is your who. What is more like your product? What product is this? So what is more like your product, or it depends on the context, but what can be your product? Where can be your location? Location. So when you see location data, no, it's a dimension table. See, I will still take you to how to do these things, but just have those at the back of your mind. Of course, even if it is not clear to you now, when I go over it, when I go into building data model, and then when you watch the recording, it will resonate. But follow me as much as you can. So where is your location? Your location, where is this? Where are we selling the most? Blah blah. So where is your location? The next thing I mentioned is I mentioned who, where, what. The next thing is when. When is more like your time, calendar. And calendar table or time is one of the most important. Is in 95% of every data you see calendar. Or let me say 98% or 99%. In every data you see a calendar table. There must be time somewhere. Because time is one of the most important things you can find in your data. Time. And you can see the most consistent table you find in star schema is data dimension table. So your time, these things I'm telling you, these are gotten from Microsoft Learn. I didn't put up most of these things. I got them from Microsoft Learn. So I intentionally go to Microsoft Learn as my reference point. So they are for Microsoft Learn. So Microsoft itself, not something I fashioned myself or coined myself. So so your date is your when. So those are your who, what, where, when, and then how could be maybe channel of payments, is it online? So everything dimension will revolve around these 4-5 things I've mentioned. Your who, your what. So when you look at any data, if you look at it, what is this speaking to? Is this speaking to my W? Which of my W is this speaking to? And like I said, always put at the back of your mind that is speaking to, these are your text-based data. They are category in nature. That means if you sum them together, it doesn't make any logical sense too. So more like, remember your pathway when I was talking about numerical column and text-based column or categorical column. If you sum them together, it can't make any logical sense. Your product, if I sum my product together, it doesn't make any logical sense. My time, if I sum my time together, it doesn't make any logical sense. So all those things form a dimension table. Now, the next thing is your fact table. Fact table store observation of events and can be sales. So your sales, your balance, your exchange rate, temperature, purchase. So all these things that can be summed together. Those are things that make up your fact table. All right. So things that you can sum together, things you can add together. Those are things that form your fact table. And another thing that is in your fact table are the dimension key columns. I still talk about dimension key, but just have it at the back of your mind again. Dimension key columns. We'll still look at it when we go into creating a data model that relates to dimension tables and the fact. So it will be what will connect the dimension to the fact table. So and then the numeric measure columns. So you can see the dimension key columns and then the numeric measure columns. Those are what makes up your fact table. Now let's say we can build a data model. So I'll need you to do something. Probably, okay, since we don't have the data, but for every data model you want to create, as a newbie, as someone that is just starting up, I'll give you a framework to creating a data model. It will make life so easy for you. Good thing is this session will be recorded, you can go over it again. So this will make life easy for you every time you want to build a data model, except maybe when you are now so good at it, then you can leave this framework. But if you are not, if you are still learning, please stick by this framework. It would save you a lot of good. Now, for every data model you want to create, there are 5 steps to create a data model, and I'll take you through the 5 steps. So ideally, I'll tell people, go to your Excel or go to a jotter or somewhere, or get a jotter and notepad and create these 5 steps. So step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. So you have to go through this step one by one. So let me go to my Excel too. Let me go to my Excel. Where's my Excel? And then do same thing, what I'm telling you to do. So let me go to a new sheet, and then let me say step 1. So let me do this till 5. Okay. So I've done my step 1 to 5. Look at what does step 1 mean? What does step 1 mean? Step 1 means that you should identify all the column headers. What does this mean? If you look at it, all the column, look at your data. Every data you are coming across or you want to work on, always go to the so identify the column headers. So this is this first one. Identify all the column headers. Is the column headers you want to work with. So I would identify the column headers. Remember, the column headers define what is in the column. So I'll come to this column headers, and then I would let me do Control Alt V. So paste, transpose, and then this. So this is all the column headers in my data. That's what step 1 is telling you. Identify all the column headers. So step 1 is simple as this. Just go and identify the column headers. That's step 1. So I've done step 1. Are we good? So next one is step 2. Step 2 is saying that identify the categorical and value field in your data. What does this mean? Now, looking at the column headers or the column you've identified, look at those columns. Which ones are categorical in nature? Remember, category are more like text, things that I can sum together and then it will make no logical sense. Those are categories. If I can sum that column together and then makes logical sense, it's a numerical field or it's a value field. If I can't sum together and then because it will not make any logical sense, that shows it's a categorical field. So for this, I'm going to come here. Look at this image. Image is a category, so I'll give it R. Title is category, so I'll give it. I think all these things are category. Control D, Control D. This critic score, this looks like a value field, so I'll give it this. Though this one it still can be debated, but for this now I'll just give it D. And then this other ones too. These are sales, so I'll give all this value field. I can sum these ones up. So you can see the ones which I can sum, I'm giving them V. The ones I can sum up, I'm giving R. So this one to release date is a category field. Category. And if you look at these ones now, all these ones I gave R, they are speaking to who, what, where, and the like. So this is where I identify my dimension tables. So if I come to this one now, so I've done step 2. Let me not jump the gun. I've done step 2. So step 2 now, I've done step 2. Let's go to what step 3 is. Identify the columns that form natural hierarchy. Now I would ignore the V's and then deal with the ones that have R alone. On step 3, I would ignore the V's. So these R are what will be for my dimension table. So with this, I've gotten what will be my dimension table. I need to identify how they can be in my dimension table. Just follow me. Now I want to look at the ones that form natural hierarchy. What does that mean? Look at the ones that are related. If they are related, then I can group them together. So in your data, like your location now, location is my country, city, state, they are related. Country, city, and state, they are related. Or year, month, quarter, dates, they are related. So they speak to the same thing. So that's what step 3 is telling you. It's saying identify columns that form natural hierarchy. That means that they are related in your data. Sometimes there is an hierarchy. If you look at it from the date, I can get the year. From the year, it comes to the quarter. From the quarter, it comes to the. So there's an hierarchy in that. So that shows they are related. Things that I can't go like that. That shows there's no hierarchy. For my country, I can get this region. I can get the city. I can get the state, or the state and the city, something like that. So they form natural hierarchy. Looking at this image, title, console, genre, for you to be sure, go back to your data and then look at it again. Most of the time, you go back to your data. Look at this title. From this title, I can get the genre. Maybe not. Maybe not. I can leave the genre apart, but from this title, I can't get the console, of course, because the Grand Theft 4, you can see Grand Theft Auto 5 is PS4, is PS3. I get the genre here to some extent, but I'll probably just skip it. But of course, from the title, the name of the game, I can know the publisher. Publisher would be, so I can know the developer too. So I can still say these 3 are the same. And then maybe the image, of course, will be related to the title too. So this image, title, publisher, developer, they form a natural hierarchy. They are related because from the developer, I can know the game, or from the game, I can know the developer one way. And then from the developer, publisher, I can get the developer, and from the developer, I can get this. So they are related. And if you look at release dates, to release date and then the dates, so they are speaking to dates. So these two are also the same. Last update and release dates, they are the same. So I'll come back to this. So title, image, I'll give this D1. So the ones that are the same, I'll give all of them the same dimension key. So let me copy this and then give this D1 too to show that they are the same. So they are taking the same dimension number. These other two that are the same, so release date, I'll give it D2 and D2. So these two are the same. And then these 4 are the same. Console, because console here is not related to this. Console is on its own because you have PS4. Any game can be PS4. Any game can be PS. Many game here can be PS. It's not related to this. You can see Grand Theft 4 here now. It can be PS4, it can be PS3, so it's not related. Anyway, if you want to be sure, if you look at it, if I click on anywhere in PS4 now, or any PS3 here now, any game here. Let me see a game here. Let me do PS4. You can see the large number of games are attached to it. So that means it's not related. They form no natural hierarchy. Ideally, if I come here now, if I come to this Grand Theft Auto 4, I want to unfilter, so let me just come to, okay, let me search. Okay, I think I'm close. Okay, let me just search. Yeah, no. Even Grand Theft has so much. What's Grand Theft Auto 5? Okay, so let me take this one off. Take this one off. So if I do this Grand Theft Auto 5 now, consider this one now consider it is related to, it will be only publisher alone that would have it. But you can see generally now, there's action adventure, so it's showing that this is not related to this grand theft. Console now is not related to this because you can see different ones. But if it, for you to be sure they are the same, a game would only have one publisher. Example is a product ID and product name. A product ID or a customer, your account number now is only meant for you. If you have two people using the same account number, that means that the account number is not related to people. But if you have just one account number to each person, that means account name and then the account numbers are related. Do you get the gist? Account name and account number are related because it is peculiar to that person. If account number and account name, if we have just one, two, or three persons using one account number, that shows that in data modeling, they are not related. Remember, this is in data modeling. Leave any outside of what you probably may know, leave it and come to the confines of data modeling. When you filter something like this, and then it's relating to more than one example, know that that way, this one, that thing, those things are not related. Like this console is not related. This is not related to genre, but publisher is related, developer is related. It's related. The reason why I left, if you look at images, it probably would be different. Yeah, I think it is. But the reason why I left is because logically, image here would be, it's actually, I can take out the column because I don't need it. It's just maybe to show, but I don't need it. But that's why I'm just leaving it there. But if it's something that I probably would need, I probably need to create a dimension, but there's no point creating a dimension for it. It's just an irrelevant column. So yeah, so this is how you can know if columns are related. Look at, filter it down, then see, is it relating to this? It should be one to the other, relating to the other, not when you're relating to many things in that column. If you are related to many things in that column, that know that, oh, they are not related. If an account number is relating to many customers in a bank, know that, oh, account number and then the customers are not, they form no natural hierarchy. There's no hierarchy in it. But if it is one customer to one account number, know that, oh, they form natural, I can group them together. Do you get the gist? I need to run. Time is really not on my side. So I will come here, console, I'll give console D3. I'll give January D4. Remember that I'm only dealing with the ones I gave R. So I've left the V. So this D means dimension 1, dimension 2, dimension 3, and dimension 4. So we have 4 dimension tables. Now, we've done step 3. Let's go back to step 4. Step 4 now says identify the column with the lowest granularity in each hierarchy. So that means in this hierarchy we've created, this D3, this D1 now, you know, there are like 4 things that form this D1. So out of this 4 D1, there's one that is at the lowest granularity. That means there's one at the base. And let me give a perfect example. If I have country, if I have state and city, in that order, the one at the base or the lowest or the least granularity there is the city, because country is the highest. It comes down to city, to state, and then to city. If there's data for maybe town or maybe streets, then streets is the next, and then address. So that's how in that hierarchy, the one at the base, at the lowest of that hierarchy is what we are referring to. That's what you need to identify here. Now, with this one, now in this title, in this publisher and then developer, the one with the lowest granularity will be this title. Because from the title, I can know the publisher, I can know the developer. If I look at this developer alone now, if I come to this developer, if I click on this developer alone, the developer probably would have done many games. So I can't, from the developer, know the games. If I just click on one developer now, you see that the best developer probably have like 5 games. So you can see different titles, so you can see. So if I'm saying, the name of the publisher is 10 studios, or let me give an example. If I want to, if I'm confused, if I'm lost, and I say, oh, I'm going to Lagos, you'll be like, where in Lagos are you going to? But if I say I'm going to Omole, or I'm going to Ogba, you are clear. Oh, Ogba in Lagos, I know Ogba. But if I'm saying I'm going to Lagos, I'm going to Southwest, where in Southwest are you going to? Now, questions can be even further asked. Where in Ogba can you go? So, but if data is just, okay, go to Ogba, That's the data. That's what they sent to you. Go to Ogba. Then you're not saying, oh, they told me to go to somewhere in Lagos. You'll be confused because in the people now start asking, where in Lagos are you going to go? There are many places in Lagos. So that means you still need to go lower. So in this case now, if I'm not looking at publisher here has different games. So there are many games. So you need to go to the one at the lowest that you can. If I tell you that I'm going to Ogba, obviously you know that Ogba, oh, you are going to Lagos. Oh, you are going to Southwest. Oh, you are going to Nigeria. So you can see that from the bottom you can find every other thing. But if I tell you I'm going to Southwest, you still be confused. There are many places in Southwest. Is it Lagos? Is it Ondo? Is it Ogun? Is it Oyo? Where exactly are you going? So that is why you need to go to the lowest granularity is the one that can feed up. The one that can feed up. From the lowest I can get what is the next, what is the next, what is the next. But if I'm telling you developer here or publisher, because the developer probably would have developed 500 games. But if I tell you this, okay, like an artist now, if I tell you, oh, I need someone that sang this particular song, and I'm looking for this particular song. From this song, you can know the artist. But if I tell you I'm looking for an artist, you're like, I'm looking for a song, but I do not remember the name of the song. And I mention the artist. You now start saying, just sang many songs. Which of the songs? Start mentioning different songs. But if I just tell you the song, because you know the artist, you know the journey of the song, or you know the dates or every other thing about the song. So in this case, the title is the one with the lowest granularity here. I think I'm speaking too much. So I'll just come to the title, and then I give it RK, or you can call it DK, dimension key to reporting key. Anyone is fine, or you can call it DK. All right. Here now, the dates. Yeah, I'll just give this release date because this release date is what I can use to know what's with the last updated date too. But for these ones that have just one, obviously they are the okay. So I'll just come here. So for those that have one, there's no hierarchy at all. So obviously it's stood up there the reporting key. So step five now, let's go back to step 5. Step 5 is now to identify the fact fields by putting F in every field, that is value field, and then the dimension of the reporting key. So every remember your arc that V that you've left here, your views that you've left here, and then this reporting key. So you put F in the front of everything. So F, come down here, F, and then I'll put F here. So everything that has value field and then that has RK or DK. So and then the F, those are the ones I would consider as my fact field. This one are the facts. These are the dimension tables. So I'll come back here now and say, I've done this framework. I've done the sketch of how my data model will look. So I'll now go back to Power Query now and then transmit or transform my data based on this structure I've done. So based on this, I said I will need how many dimension key? I will need 4 dimension key. There will be the first dimension, second dimension here, third dimension. So this is the first dimension table. This is the second dimension table, third dimension table, fourth dimension table, and then this will be my facts table. So I need 5 tables based on this data I have done here. So based on the data I have here, many people that have loaded this data. That's what they call denormalization in data modeling. Loading this data, some people do it, but in the long run, it is highly inefficient, especially if you are working for a firm that generates a lot of data. This data now, if I leave it like this, first, there are so many data that are redundant. Redundant data are so much in this data that probably will not be needed. Example is, if I look under this title now, there are many data sets of this console. This PSO will be repeated like 500 times. This data is up to 60-something thousand rows. So this PSO will be repeated like 500 times, which you don't need. We don't need to repeated. So they can be probably 10 consoles that we have. Let's just have data for those 10 consoles. Not when it is repeated and then we keep repeating it. We keep repeating it. It's just redundant. It's making our data model large because in the long run, you need to refresh your data. Your Power BI report would also become too large to consume. So it now becomes slow, becomes a lot inefficient. So data model is very, very much important. Do not denormalize a table like this. Just load your data. No, always break it down into a normalized table by doing a star schema data model. Okay, so now let's do our star schema data model. So I've mentioned that we need 5 tables. So 4 dimension and 1 fact table. So I'll just duplicate this table. Right click and duplicate this table 5 times. all my efforts in Excel is to the end of knowing how to create my data model. Of course, personally, I probably will not need this, but for the sake of those who are just learning, you need to know these steps. So that's why I went ahead to create those steps for you. So now I've done my duplication. So now the first dimension, if you go back here now, the first dimension is I need my image title, publisher and developer. So I'll come back here, click on image, click on title, click on publisher, and then I'll come here to developer. Click on developer, and then I'll remove duplicates from here. Oh, sorry. I was not supposed to remove duplicates. So let me cancel that step. I'll remove other columns. I want to remove other columns. Remember, the other columns are not supposed to be here. So my dimension 1, that means I only need the title, the image, publisher, and developer based on the sketch I've done here. Remember this sketch. So this will be my first dimension. I will need image, title, developer, and publisher. So every other thing I'll take out. Why is it slow? So let me also rename so I'll rename this to D_products. So this is more like dimension products. It's taking time to remove columns. My system is already telling me that I need rest. So you can even see this is just something thousand columns. So, and then I don't know for what reason my system is taking time to actually do this. Now imagine your data is large and data will be updated. If you work for a firm that generates data every day, remember your data will be updated. So you need to be able to do proper data modeling. If the data is updated every day, it will eventually lag. And it will not be like, oh, you created nonsense to us. You can't even use the reports. It just keeps rolling. You can see the way this is going now. So let me just, for the sake of time, let me go to the other one, right? That one keeps rolling. So it will eventually work, but okay, it has worked now. So we've had so I'll come to this title. Remember the title is the one with the lowest granularity, is the one with RK or DK. So the title, you remove duplicates from it. Please always remember to do this. Remove duplicate from the title. So remove duplicates. If I come here now to this video chart, I will do so that's the second duplicate. So what we need is I think that's our release date. D2 is what we okay, yeah, release date and last update. So I just come to those columns, to those two columns that we need, come to these two, and then remove other columns. So yep. So I now come to release date. That's the, remember the one with the lowest granularity here. So is what? Release dates. So it's release date, and then from release date I would, because that's even the most information, so I will remove duplicates. Remember, it is on the reporting key you remove duplicates from. The reporting key. So all those duplicated data, like I said, PS4 will just duplicate 5,000 times. You don't need it. Remove all the duplicates off so that your data can now be smaller. So I'll call this D_dates. So next dimension is our console. So I'll click on this and then remove other columns. And I would remove duplicates. Remove duplicates. So you can see I've moved, you can see it's now 91 rows. Instead of that 60 something thousand, it's now 91 rows. So I can now call this D_console. And then the next one is January. So I'll remove other columns from here. Apologies, we probably may just extend like 10-15 minutes after the 1 hour session. Apologies, I hope I'm fine. Is it fine? I continue. Okay, I think the onus is on Musa. Musa, should I continue?
Yes, I think you can continue, though speaking on their behalf.
Okay. So like 10 minutes, I'll be done. I'll be out of here. So this is the
Alright, thank
thanks
you.
Musa for that feedback. No, so I've done the 4-dimensional files we need. The last one is what we call the fact. So this will be the fact. So what will be in the facts table? Based on this, we can say I keep the sketch. Like I said, whatever it is you pencil down here, you need to be able to, you need to be sure, because whatever it is you do here will transit to Power BI. So now this here now, title, console, generally discuss, and then the release data, the things I need in my facts table. So I'll come back here and I click on title, hold my control key, my key this time, click on generally, click on publisher. If you want to click on many things, hold your control key and then you click one by one. If you want to click everything at once, you can just hold shift, control shift, hold shift, click hold shift and then go to the last to highlight everything in that order. If you want to click one by one, hold control and then you can scroll to pick or select everything you need. I don't need publisher. Let me check publisher. I need score. Okay, I think I've clicked on what I do not need. I've done this step. Well, let me just click on the ones I don't need and then delete those. I think this will be easier. So I don't need publisher. I don't need developer. I don't need last update. So these are the ones I don't need. And then I will remove columns. So now, so these are the ones I need. So these are the ones I need here. Title, console, January. So these are the ones I need. So based on what so I can just call this my facts underscore. Let me see. So once I've done this now, I can now close and load it. Once I do close and load, you'll be shocked what would have happened with my data model. So I want to do something first. Let me remove, I think there should be one null here. Let me take out null. I don't need null. So if I close and apply now, so once I'm done, I've done the transformation. I've built my data model. So Power BI by its own self will be able to identify the model. If I do close and apply now, look at what would happen. Let me go back to my Power BI. It's still loading, but let me go to it. Come up. Okay, so it's still loading, and then you see what would have happened. It would have created the data model by itself. 90% of the time to do it yourself. To create one the connection. I remember the slide I showed you how they were connected. So I've done everything for you quickly because it was able to identify, oh, there's a relationship between these two, and then it's connected one way or the other. You would see. Remember your dimension key or your reporting key is what connects the dimension to the facts. So remember, always move duplicate from that DK or the reporting key. It's connected dimension to the facts. So for those who do SQL, it's called that's primary key, foreign key kind of thing. For those who do SQL, so your reporting key, your foreign key, your primary key. That's what it means. Primary key on the dimension, reporting key on the fact. Foreign key on the fact, I mean. So let's see how it goes. It's still loading. Don't know what's on my system today, but this is what it is. It's almost done. While it's loading, let me check the charts if there are questions yet. Can see hands up. Is it possible to get the key for VRF? Yes, I mentioned the meaning. V is for value field, R is for reporting key, F is for fact file, and then R is still the same. The small letter, if it's a capital letter you want to use, is fine. You can define it any way. You can use any number, but just for the sake of clarity, that's why I use. Reporting key is R key or dimension key. It's still the same thing. You can use any of the two. So you can use reporting key alone. You can use dimension key. I just use this so that anytime you see DK or dimension key, you understand what it means. Or you see reporting key somewhere else, you understand what it means. So that's what I've done. Let me see. Next question. Okay, let me go back. Let me go back to Power BI. Maybe afterwards. Let's see if it is downloading. Okay, still loading. So let me go back to answering questions in the chat again. Okay, thank you for listing that, Abdulrahman. Let me see. And if okay, I have co-facilitators here, Abdulrashid. Thank you. You still remain. Yeah, that was Excel. Of course, Excel is not, but my part for Power BI, for Power Query. So in my Abdul Wahid. So if you are saying total sales because it was still in Excel. Remember, you don't delete in Excel, you delete in Power Query. Please don't delete from the data source. Always delete from Power Query. It is very important that we understand that. Don't delete data from the data source. Delete only Power Query so that it's the one you want to do reports for that will be deleted. I hope that was clear. I think I've answered every question in the chat. Let me see. From one reason or the other, still loading. How? But I think it's almost done, but I don't understand. Okay, data is 10 MB, but at the same time, 10 MB is something that should not take time. Excuse me, I'm freezing. Something's coming up. I can't see. Let me see. Infinity word. I can't see what's. Let me just close it. Okay. Can anybody still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir, loud and clear.
Hello guys, please hold on. We are experiencing a technical issue. We'll be back soon. Thank you.
Hello, can you guys hear me? Sorry,
Yes, sir, we can hear you now.
Okay, good. Sorry, I left the meeting. One way or the other, I mistakenly just pressed the leave button. So I'm sorry, but I'm back. So I think the Power BI is done loading. So I think there's this even a perfect example of always model your data. Else you would keep having lag in your data model in your reports like this. But I think this is down to my, I don't know, maybe something, probably because I opened many applications. I know there's another report open, but I think it should not cause that kind of bug. That's not going to model your data. It's the file becomes the data becomes large that it brings the system a whole lot. So break things down for help your system by breaking things down. So I want to share my screen now. I don't know if you can see. Okay, so it's going to come up now. Confirm you can see the screen. So I'm done. It's downloading. Confirm you can you? Can you see my screen? Let me go back to the chat.
Yes, we can see your screen, sir.
Okay, good, good. So let's just look at the data model and see what that's created so far. So if I come out of the model view now, what can I close? What can I close to make the system? Okay, but my system is really lagging. But ideally, like I said, once I would, of course, I would just do explanation. By the time I'm done explanation, I think you should have worked. So when you do your data model, when you've done the dimension, the factor, and then they're able to connect one to another, you can now do reporting seamlessly. You now remember it was just a single data set, but I needed to break it down. That's what it's talking about. So it's to break it down into dimension and fact. So you have dimension tables, you have a fact table, and then they will now be connected with the dimension key and then the reporting key. That's how they are connected together. The dimension key, your reporting key is what connects the dimension key or reporting key is what connects the dimension table to the fact table. So every dimension table will have a reporting key, and the fact table contain all dimension keys or reporting keys from every dimension table, plus the numerical columns. Okay, good. So it's up now, so you can see. So I'm closing one of my reports that I have here. And of course, I've not shut the system down for some time, so it's bound to lag. So I'll just let me reduce the. So you can see now that it has created connection between this. Okay, I'm seeing I connected two, but they still not sure what connects in this order too. So I can connect this manually by myself. So it should be release date. So this me dragging things manually. It did not create it automatically for me, but I'll do it manually by myself. So yes, release dates to release dates, one to many, and then I do say that there will be a relationship. Yeah. There will be a relationship here. Okay, so you can see that it has created the relationship. If I want to do products now, I know this product, the title, I probably need to create a custom column for this title so that I can connect, because it's tell me there's one many to many. Yeah. So, but I don't know if time permits to just create a custom column so that I can be able to connect this. But this is just more of some advanced stuff. But ideally, this has been connected. If I want to create this, I'll just merge my title and then maybe the product or something. There's one field in this title page that is not making it connect. So I can just connect the title and product together, merge them together, And then also the same thing with my fact table, and they'll be able to connect seamlessly. So that's the solution to that. But I will not be able to do that because of time. But obviously, that's all we'll be able to connect this, because if I try and connect, it's going to show me that many to many. I don't want a many to many connection. Maybe I should speak about cardinality. Cardinality to there three, for me, there are three cardinalities. There's one to one. That means one on the dimension table. Okay, let me do something so that we understand what I'm saying. So if I come under manage relation, okay, I don't even need to go to that. I don't need to go into that. So cardinality, if you look at this place now, you are seeing cardinality. There's many to one, there's one to one, there's many to many, and there's one to many. For me, one to many and many to one are the same thing. So I call them one. I put them together as one. But let me explain. Okay, let me say there are four. Many to one means that many on the dimension table, and then that's many on the facts table, I mean. So many to one means you have many of that value of the reporting key. There are many of it in the fact table, and then one of it in the dimension table. So ensure that when you are clicking on your connection, ensure that it is on the menu. That's on the fact table that you are clicking many to one. So many on the dimension. Remember that the fact table, we didn't remove duplicates. So many on the fact table, one on the dimension table. One to one, that means one unique on the dimension, one unique on the facts. This year now, one to many means one on the dimension and many on the facts. That's how it should be. Many to many means that many on the facts, many on the dimension, which is not ideal. 99% of the time, you not need this, but there are few situations where this many to many will work. But for an upcoming data analysis, you don't need many to many. It should always be many to one or one to many. And when I hear one many to one, understand that many is always on the facts, one on the dimension table. That's why we removed duplicates from the dimension and we left many on the facts. So it has to be many on the facts, one on the dimension, or one on the dimension, many on the facts. So many to one to many still is the same thing, but it's just the inverse direction. It's just the direction. One is on the right, left. So it's just that way. So that's what cardinality is, and then I've explained what the fact and the dimension tables are. So this is data modeling. And you can see the connection is not existing. You can go to my reporter, then do reporting the way it's supposed to be, and we are good. So this is where I'll be dropping the curtains for today. Apologies, we took a bit of time. I hope we're able to learn one or two. Please go back to the recording and ensure you watch the recording. I know it's probably will be a bit of an handful at this moment, but when you go through the recording, carefully go over it again and again, you would understand what it is I have said. But if you're able to get it once, good for you. But practice. That's how you be a perfect or a better analyst. Thank you so much for this session. I hope we all enjoyed this session. I don't know if I'm to wrap up or I give it back to you, Musa. Okay, questions.
All right. All
Okay.
right. Thank you very much, Mr. Toba Fashakin, for your time and for sharing from your wealth of knowledge with us today. God bless you, sir. Now, everyone, let's give a virtual round of applause for our speaker for the incredible job he has done. If you have any question, you can kindly raise your hand and I will unmute you to speak. In the meantime, the test and evaluation form will be shared in the chat box. Please ensure you fill it out with the appropriate and right email. Thank you. And again, don't forget to post what you learned today on your social handles and do well to tag the speaker. I will share his LinkedIn handle with you in the chat box. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. I see a question in the chats. Maybe I can answer while others are trying to unmute. I don't know if that's fine. Yes. So to answer that is, we said there are null values present in the data set. Can you clarify why they are not removed? Null values, null is something you should be careful in removing as an analyst. There are times when null is fine to have null in your data set. There are times the null should be taken out. So you need to be careful before taking it out. You need to ask questions. Meet with whoever gave you that data or whoever department is in charge of keeping the data. What does this null signify? Example. Okay, let's go back to the data set we are using. We have last updates. That means the last time the games were updated. There are some games that were not updated at all. So it will be null. So imagine I now take out that data because I saw null. That means I'll take out the entire row and I've lost data that way. So you need to be careful when treating null. If you want to be sure, ask questions. Don't just take out null from your data. Having null is not bad. Remember, the rule is that empty column or empty row. If you have null, it's still fine. Only ask questions. Should it be left empty or blank? If it should not, take out the null. But if it is fine with being empty, then leave it. Like the last update, like it is fine being empty. So you don't need to take out any null. Just leave it like that. That is what that. So you need to ask questions. Don't just take out null anyhow. You need to ask questions to be sure.
All right. Good evening, sir. Thank you very
Good
much.
evening,
Yeah.
Waid. Sorry.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm very sure people like me will need this recording almost immediately. So, my moderator, please let's have this recording available. But please, sir, sorry to take you back. I need you to help me
Okay.
just do a quick recap on step 3 and step 4, please. Thank
Okay.
you very much. Step 3
So
and step 4. I
yeah.
didn't get some points clear there. Thank you very much.
Okay. Let me see if I can run that quickly. So step 3. So step 3 says identify the fields that or the columns that form natural hierarchy. That means the columns that are related. The columns that look through your data, which columns are related? That means that they are connected one to another. I give example of say country, city, and state, or country, state, city. That way they are related. They are related. I can say, oh, these things are speaking to the same thing. They are speaking to location, country, city, and state. They are speaking to the same thing, so they are related. So they form natural hierarchy. What natural hierarchy means that they are form relationship, and these things related. They speak to the same thing. Like if I'm seeing Manchester United, Chelsea, EPL, that way I know that they are related. They are speaking to football team and then the league. I hope you are getting me. If I see it in my data, if I
Very
see
well, sir.
a column for Man City, West Brom, Aston Villa, Newcastle, and I see all that, and then I'm seeing EPL, I'm seeing, so you know that these two columns, they are related. They are speaking to football clubs and then their countries, or their leagues, I mean. So that they are related. Next one is so that is natural hierarchy. They form natural hierarchy. You know that, oh, the country league is the one that houses this club sites. So that's a natural hierarchy. Which example can I give again? But do you get the step 3? Once look at
Yes,
data, the ones that are related.
I get that step 3 now. I get it now. So in the
Okay.
process of you giving them D1, D2, D3, and D4, I understand you took the ones that are of close relationship, one connected to one. You call that one D1,
Yes.
and you do the same thing for D2. So I'm clear with that.
Yes.
So I want you to go to step 4 now. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So just to explain more further on step 3, like your product ID, product name, product category, product subcategory, those 4 things now, they are related. Clear again. So now step 4. Now when you look at the ones that are related, so everyone that are related, you give them the same dimension key. You can see that these ones now, they are related. I give all of them D1. These two, they are related. These two here. Let me highlight these two. They are related. I give them D2. This one, there's no other one that was related to, so I gave it D4 straight. This one, there's no other one that was related to, I gave it D3 straight. So that is how you give dimension. Now, this one is now saying that the one with the lowest granularity, what that means is this: in the hierarchy, which one is the lowest in the data you have? I would explain what it means. If you have data like city, country, and state, which one do you think is the lowest in between country, city, and state in the hierarchy? And which one is the top? Country, city, and state. Which one is the lowest in the hierarchy?
Lowest will be city.
City, and then the highest will be what?
The highest will be the country.
Good, exactly. So if you identify that city is the lowest, so just come to that city and then give it okay, or give it DK, anyone you want to give it. Anyone is right, I can give it DK. So that's your reporting key, or that's the dimension key, the one that is lowest in the hierarchy, in the order. So in this one now, looking at the data, the one with the lowest granularity is the title, because from the title, I can know the publisher. I can know the developer. Do you get me?
Yes, I'm with you, sir.
So is it clear now?
Yes, 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 yes. So if I get you clear, the one with the lowest hierarchy is R key, sorry. Then
Yes.
DK comes with, I didn't
No,
get that
DK is
part.
the same thing as okay. I'm just saying anyone you
Okay,
can
RK,
choose to use
DK. Okay, okay,
RK
okay.
or
Now
DK.
I'm
That's
clear.
like push
Now
slash.
I'm clear. Now I'm clear. Now I'm clear.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So that's it. Yep. So if you look at one that doesn't format, there is only one. Like this console column now is only the one in this dimension table. So by default, it's the reporting key. You don't need to even stress over those ones. By default, they are the reporting key.
So is there any reason why the publisher and developer were not labeled and they were all D1? Okay, you've already taken title as the lowest
Yes.
among those four.
Yes.
Thank you very
Yes.
much. Thank you. I think I'm
Exactly.
fine now. Thank you very much.
Okay. Any other question? Any other question?
Damilola, you can speak, please. I can see your hand. Your hands
I
up.
hope it's fine. We've gone past 30 minutes. Me, I'm done. No. So questions you're asking is just so I took chance for 20 minutes or 15 minutes, but I'm done. So every other question is because of you, not me. It's not on my bill. All right, Damdola. So let's have Damdola speak. Hi,
Me.
Damdola.
Can you hear me, please?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Yes, thank you very much. So my question is back to data normalization and data modeling. In a
Okay.
scenario where we're trying to like do data modeling, but normal for like data modeling mix of primary key and foreign key in the sense that we have to connect based on a unique key to the fact table. So my question is, in a scenario where we don't have a primary like a primary key, maybe like the fact tables are very very very, how would I put it? Okay, the dimensions table are like the columns for the dimension table, they're not really much, and the fact tables too. Can we always, like after doing data normalization, can we always create a primary key in the sense that I don't know how to do that, but we just like create a primary key to make data model or something? That's my question.
Okay. Damilola, your question is a bit confusing, I must say. But ideally, there's no if you are normalizing your table, denormalizing is when you just have the data, you carry the data, you carry it straight. So you didn't even break it down into dimensional parts. You just carry the data, took it to Power BI, and then you are doing your analysis. So that's denormalization. But normalization is what I said you should always do. When you normalize data, that's when you go into your star schema and all that. When you normalize
Sorry,
a data, okay.
I was talking about normalization. Sorry. I'm sorry. Data
Normalization.
normalize, not denormalization. So what
You're
I
talking
meant
about
was that,
normalization.
yes,
Okay.
creating like a primary key. So I mean, the way you were doing like duplicates, those duplicates. So sometimes one thing I do like after doing, I will just choose one particular column. I don't know if what I'm doing is right. So I'll just like use index. So like numbering it from 1 to 10. So I'm just trying to ask like, is that like a primary key, me creating a primary key to make data model, something like that?
No, that's not a primary key. Well, there are times when index could be the way to work, but I did don't use index. Don't use index as index column as the primary key. For every data, that when you break things down, remember that you have a if that data, that data, maybe it's a not like this one that we broke one single table down into different table. If probably it's different data sets or different tables coming from different data sources, and there's no relationship between the facts and the dimension table. Well, in that case, you probably may need to import maybe index can work. It depends on the data. So I don't want to speak generically. But many a times, if you see that there's no relationship, then that shows that nothing is speaking to the data. You probably should not report to that kind of data. But if you go on and then they said no, we must report by this data, then probably you can now work out maybe your index column, but those are rare cases. So I'm saying if you have any data sets, if there's no relationship between the factor and the one you probably call your facts, And then the new data set they are bringing, maybe dimension table data from somewhere. It's not related to this. It's first thing off your head is that these things are not connected. I'm not supposed to be connecting. This data is different from this one. You probably can be for another report. It should not be for this report. But if they say no, it's for this report, then you now need to those are advanced things. You probably may now need to use an index column or something, or look at maybe you need to import. Well, DAX could also work. So DAX could also work. You can maybe your kind of your use relationship, or you can use different. But ideally, those are rare cases. In your own case, I don't think that will be the issue. In your own case is not being able to identify what the primary key is. So probably we need to revisit this recording and then be able to go through the recording and be able to say, oh, this is the reporting key here, and this is the primary key and then foreign key. Like I said, that's the reporting key on the dimension table, and then this is the reporting key. This is how we connect to the fact table. Because that's what I think. Well, that's what I'm assuming here. I don't have the data set you are talking about. I don't know about how you have been doing it, but I'm sensing that's a problem. Not this one I printed, but there are situations where they give you a data that is completely different from the fact table you probably have in your report. When you have such, first thing that comes first is that data is not related to what you have. But if they say it is, then you find a way to actually find something that will be able to connect the two. So that's how I would answer that. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, I'll rewatch the recording for better explanation. Thank you very much.
Still are not confused, you probably can reach me on LinkedIn and then we can take the conversations from there.
All right.
If you are still confused. Yep.
All right. Hello, sir.
Okay, Abdurrahman.
Yes, thank you for today's class. I really enjoyed your session. Unfortunately, I also had some network issue, and that's why I have to ask this question. So while doing data transformation, when you are trying to separate your data set to fact and dimension tables, okay, my usual practice is to when I'm satisfied with my data set and I'm ready to separate them to fact and dimension tables, I duplicate my data set in Power Query and I removed those columns I did not need from the dimensions tables and arrange and add index column and all. Then I will now go back to my fact table and merge the common, the index from the dimensions to the, so that I can have the index as foreign keys in my fact table. You understand? So I'm thinking this process is kind of baby step or something like, I feel like there should be a better way to do it. And again,
Is it on my end? I've lost Abdul Rahman.
hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now? All right. So I also want to understand the difference between merge and append. My first question is that I want to understand the best way to separate facts and dimensions from my data set, because my usual practice is just to duplicate data, remove the unwanted columns, and do the all necessary thing and go back and make. So the last question is that. Let me ask my last question. Sorry.
Okay.
Dimension tables. I mean date dimensions. I don't know if I can create that in Power Query, because I usually do that after I load my data into Power BI. So those are my questions. Thank you.
I'm not clear on that last question. You create it in Power Query.
Dim date.
Dim date.